Hi, mister. How are you? My name is Daniel Flores, and I'm going to present you my lesson plan number 4, Tag Questions. My objective from this class were the following. First, the listening objective was understand the intonation used in tag questions. It is important that they understand the intonation. Next, the speaking objective was respond. Respond to tag questions. Okay? This part will help them to express their ideas. And as I always tell my students, practice is the only way to start speaking. The next is a reading objective that was understand the form of tag questions. This is my objective. And the last one, the writing, is how to use tag questions. Okay? Now, my methodology and strategies are the following. The first methodology that I used was personalized learning high tech. That means that we as a teacher, offer some traditional instructions as well as online materials, while also continually reviewing student progress. Okay? And the second methodology was the student-centered approach to learning. That students assume a much more active role in the learning process. These two methodologies are important for me at the moment of doing this lesson plan. These strategies are: the first strategy, computer games. You will think, what is that? Computer games strategy means educational computer games can be purchased for students to use to review or explore concepts. This is a funny way to learn by playing games. The second strategy was learning log. Learning log means that students write responses to teacher questions, summaries of what they have learned or what they don't understand. This is like a feedback that provides me or realizes me to identify. It helps me to realize the students that they are having troubles at the moment of the class. The next part of the class, my lesson plan, is the anticipatory set. This part, I write 4 tag questions on the whiteboard of Zoom, because always I will use the whiteboard of Zoom, because this is the way that the students can see, and let students make up a main sentence from the sentence given on the whiteboard. So they got to identify. Okay? So it anticipates what it's coming then later, that I will mention now. The main teaching input. In the main teaching input, I present the student a slideshow. A slideshare is a useful way. It's useful, really useful, to to help students to understand some topic, and this is what I'm using constantly. And I will, in this presentation, this SlideShare presentation contains the most common tag question that exist, the most common that they exist, and how they are formed, and the way they are formed. In this stage, which students will see how tag questions are used in this part and their rules and examples. In this activity, the rules of tag questions are written on the sheet, and students will try to match the examples considering the rules. Okay? In this part, it is important that students have to have got a lot of concentration, because this topic is not a difficult topic, but if they are thinking another thing, they can get confused. But that's why there are some parts written in bold, okay, to help students. That's why some parts are written in bold, because they see, this thing has to change. They recognize, so they think about what do we have to do then, and they will learn question tags with the guide of the teacher. Okay, everything it is important. It is important to receive the guide of the teacher. We are guides for them. Okay, in the modeling part of my lesson plan, have all students practice. This is my modeling part. Have all students practice. Now students are going to continue working on solving grammar mistakes. So they, as a team, have to do the feedback between them. Okay? And as students work, pay attention to any time that they struggle. It will happen because it's normal. When they are learning a new topic, it's normal that they struggle in something. And remember what they saw and heard. And during the reflection later, students will have a chance to share what they did it to work through these challenge parts. As I told you in the other lesson plans, it is important to encourage students to have more confidence. The confidence will help them to improve their skills. It is the only way. The next part, the guided practice, I present on the screen of Zoom a worksheet about tag question in order to practice with students. Practice is the way that we as a teacher measure the content learned. Okay? But we've got to look carefully what they are writing on the screen of Zoom, because you realize that if something will happen later, I mean, if you see something that they are a little confused, you've got to stop the moment of writing, and you've got to explain again. Okay? Because that's why this is a guided practice. Because I, as a teacher, have to be with them during the exercise. Okay? In the next part is the part that they measure by themselves, because the independent practice, I will send a link of a game. I will send a link of a game that it's called Dino Park. Dino Park. And this game is about tag questions. I will tell students to send me back the screenshot of the result of this game. As I told you in previous lesson plans, this is the way that we as a teacher monitor that they are working in their homes, because we know that we are just we have online classes, and we can't see what they are doing. But this is the way that we can monitor, asking them to make a screenshot and send me back. In the assessment part, on this stage, students will give, I will give them by direct message from Zoom. I will send them the auxiliary verbs do, this, and will, and some of them, okay, and some more, and we'll come up with 2 positive and 2 negative question tags, and they will only make first parts of the question text or tag questions sentence. Like, I will say an example. It is a nice day today. And they've got to complete with the tag question. For example, it is a nice day today, isn't it? They've got to complete isn't it, or in it. They got to do it. And I will ask other classmates to complete the tag questions parts. Okay? And I will take a picture of the written sentence and send it back to me. But they got to do it. This part. I like asking to my students to send me back a proof, an evidence. That's why I asked them to send me back a screenshot, because this is the way that they can get their scores. In the last part of the class, of the lesson plan, just at the closing review and follow-up, just I showed the grammar section again and asked students to explain me how we make that questions. So this is the time of students to explain, and all of them will have the opportunity to do it, because I've already explained. Now it's time to listen to them, what they have understood. This is it. This is my lesson plan number 4 about tag questions. I hope that you like my lesson plan. Have a nice rest of the day. Take care. Thanks for paying attention.